Welcome to this evening's 1997 Best Pairs Championship for the Premier League. A great field in prospect for this evening's meeting. 7 top quality pairs here from many of the top clubs in the Premier League. They say it's going to be a great, exciting meeting. So we now introduce all the riders that are on parade for this evening's 1997 Best Pairs Championship.
And here comes the parade. And where the Oxford mascot you can see coming out first. And a pretty good sized crowd has turned up for this Premier League Pairs Final, Best Pairs Championship. 7 teams seeded, of course, on the averages. And well, plenty of support for Oxford, as you can imagine. But several other sets of supporters have travelled down for what is one of the big meetings in the Premier League calendar. And well, it looks like the riders are going round for another lap of honour as well. And well, keeping someone company there. Terry Russell, the chairman of the BSPA, here to present the medals before the start of the meeting. It's a 21 heat format. Each of the pairs have 6 rides together, and it is the total amount of points that will decide the winner. And the referee here this evening being awarded with a medal as well. And well, you can see the Exeter pair coming across first to be presented with their mementos. Leigh Lanham on the right and Micheal Coles on the left. Coles, of course, a former Oxford rider, so I would imagine that he has got high hopes of scoring well here this evening. And the Edinburgh pair, well, they've brought good support down with them. And well, there they are. Peter 498, Carr, Scottish Open and PRLC champion. What a great season it's been for Peter. Kenny Mack, of course, who's led the Monarchs this season very successfully indeed. It looks like they're going to finish runners-up in the league. The third pairing, oh, I'm sure these are going to get the best reception on parade. Neville Tatum and Lawrence Hare of the Oxford Cheetahs, of course. And Lawrence, well, he has been using bikes supplied by Mark Lorem, the Danish Grand Prix champion. We understand he's on one this evening as well. He's got a couple in his stable. On to Reading. Glenn Cunningham, well, he's not here. He was programmed to ride, but he's riding in the World Long Track Grass Track Championship. David Mullett, well, he's back from injury, and Lee Richardson, he comes in to replace David Steen, who's out injured. Former Cheetah, of course, Steenie, but he's not here this evening. Lee Richardson, I'm sure he'll be a very able replacement. Onto the Invaders, the Finner Invaders from Long Eaton. Cole Stonehewer on the right and Martin Dixon on the left. Now we're a couple of characters, these two. Of course, part of the winning fours team from Peterborough a couple of months ago. The Glasgow pairing, they've travelled down a long way. Neil Collins and Mick Pell, the captain, of course, of the Tigers. Now I'm sure I think they'll probably start as one of the underdogs, that pairing, but well, it's very unpredictable indeed. This particular format, the 4-3-2-0 scoring system, and the final pairing will be the Sheffield pair of Robbie Kessler and Scott Smith. Robbie, it's been an exceptional season for the German. So that is all the teams, all 7 pairs having been presented. And we'll let the racing commence. So the riders coming out then for the first race of this 1997 Premier League Best Pairs meeting, heat number 1. And well, before the meeting we did have a few words with all the competitors this evening, starting with the Long Eaton pairing, Martin Dixon and Cole Stonehewer.
Are the Long Eaton pair, Carl Stonehewer and Martin Dixon, in the 1997 Best Pairs Championships. Chaps, great performance in the league this season, top of the averages, that's why you're here for Long Eaton this evening. What do you think of your form for this evening's meeting? Carl?
I don't know really, we just have to wait and see, won't we? Hopefully we'll make a few starts, and if he don't knock me off, it should be okay.
Have you discussed tactics between you, Martin?
Not really, I don't need to, because he says he was so good round Sheffield last night, he's going to win all the races, so it's all up to me to do what I want at the back.
Wait, if you're... From previous form here, though, he likes to sit on his backside, so Carl, how do you answer that one?
I was on it because that French bloke he doesn't know where he's going half the time.
But you're all right this evening.
He's going to Cowley, he had a beer run on.
But anyway, chaps, more seriously then, do you think you can actually win the trophy here this evening?
Is it a trophy?
Is it a trophy? We're not really minded about that. We just want
shot there. Well, if there's a trophy.
We just want to go on that new go-kart track.
You want to go-kart races, so you're not really here for the Speedway, are you?
Well, crumpet in the bar afterwards, I suppose, but...
Well, we've also got the girls on the line, so you can see them. They might put you off when you're racing.
Every time.
But you're some quality characters, lads. You've had a great season with Long Eaton in the league. How do you assess your form?
Or not? Did we win at Oxford when we came down?
No, you lost by 2 points.
Form can't be that good, can it?
But your form in the league's reasonably good. You qualify for the playoffs?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Who were you against, you know?
Don't know who you're against yet, because this final qualification...
We won't be back here again this year.
No, Oxford.
Like Christ for that, it's a shite journey on that motorway.
Yeah, but I was still on the way down. The Isle of Wight are creeping up. We could be going to the Isle of Wight.
Oh, no. No.
Yes, it could be the Isle of Wight, and I'm sure you'll look forward to going to ride on that circuit. But anyway, we wish you all the best tonight, chaps.
Anything like that before we have to go.
We wish you all the best tonight, chaps. Great characters, and I say good luck tonight's meeting.
Magic, thank you very much. Cheers.
With us this evening, our second pair from Glasgow, that's Neil Collins and Mick Pell. Neil, qualifying for the Pairs Championships this evening. Yeah. Confident?
Well, there's a lot of other good riders here, you know. Like you say, it's a Pairs thing, so there's 2 good riders from each team, and they're all good riders, that's why they're here. So, you know, we just have to get in there and try our best. That's what everybody else is going to do.
OK, Neil says you're going to get in there and try your best, Mick. Have you got any tactics, discussed anything? The Speedway Star says you have discussed tactics. What do you say?
Well, we've team ridden before, like for the Glasgow team, and we know we're both capable of. Like Neil sort of likes the outside and I like the inside, but we're quite capable of swapping over and doing all that as well. So we just need to get out the start and get out in front, and then we can keep anyone behind us, if you know what I mean. Like, as long as we get out in front. So.
That's right, obviously getting out in front, but it's an interesting format tonight, points-wise. 4 for a win, 3, 2, and no points for a last place. So obviously it's not as important to get out front, but it's team riding tactics. How are you with the team riding skills, Neil?
Well, we just had a little practice in the last race at Glasgow on Monday, which we rode pretty well together. We got a nice 5-1, rode well, looked after each other, went through the race as such, and we should be pretty good. I mean, we've raced before as such, and as it goes, if one of us hasn't got quite the chance to go, we'll probably let the other one go, and then, you know, get every point counts. Like you say, it's not really as important to get like a 5-1 as such with this points difference, but as long as we are scoring in every race, that's where it makes it up.
And certainly your form, you're very good coming through from the back, so obviously we're looking for a cracking performance from you tonight through from the back, but it's going to be a very tough meeting, Mick.
I know, like, no one's easy here tonight. Everyone's, like, it's the top of the league, isn't it? It's the top 6, 7 teams in the league, so we've got to get out there and just race as hard as we can and try and get ahead of these fellas, catch them off guard. Whatever we've got to do, we've just got to get in front of them. So.
OK, we'll put you on the spot though, chaps. Prediction for tonight's meeting? Where are you going to finish?
First.
There you go, there's confidence from the skipper of Glasgow, Mick Pell. So we wish you well, chaps. Enjoy the meeting and have a good championship. Thank you. With us this evening for the Best Pairs Championships are the pair from Sheffield, the top 2 riders in the Sheffield averages, Robbie Kessler and Scott Smith. Evening, chaps. Welcome to Oxford.
Thank you.
OK, tonight's meeting, a tough field you're up against. Pretty confident, Robert?
Well, I'm struggling a bit in the moment with my engines. I blew my best engine up last night, but I've been using last time I've been here, which was going quite well. And I have to try a brand new engine, which I've never rode before, and it might take me a couple of races to get used to it. But I think we're going to try hard and see what's happening.
But you're obviously looking back to the Sheffield match when you rode at Cowley, and to say you had a great performance that evening. I think you only dropped about 1 point. Was that correct?
Yeah, I was very happy. The setup of the bike was perfect, and I hope I can find it with my new bike again.
Yeah, so it should be a good performance for you, hopefully, here tonight, but obviously a tough field you're in. Scott, obviously a good performance really for you here as well when Sheffield were down. How's your form at the moment with the Sheffield Tigers?
It's very good. You're just dropping 1 or 2 points home and away, but I think tonight it's going to be an hard meeting. I think it's going to be harder than when we were last down here in the league. But, you know, I mean, if Robbie can get his engine sorted out early on, and if I can get in there with some points, you never know. But as I say, it's going to be hard. But, you know, it's an extra meeting, and let's see what happens. It'll be fun.
It's also a trophy meeting as well. There's a championship trophy at the end of it. But the scoring formation for tonight's meeting, obviously 4 points for the first person, 3, 2 and 0 for the last. So have you discussed any team tactics between you?
No, we've only just got here, so we'll be probably sorting it out when you've gone away.
OK, so you're obviously going to discuss that. Or your team manager's going to be here giving you the support and the backroom support for you on track? Maybe. OK, chaps, well, we wish you all the best this evening, and I hope you have a good meeting. Thank you. Good evening, chaps from Edinburgh, Kenny Mckinna and Peter Carr. Obviously, tonight's trophy meeting, the 1997 Best Players Championship, could be the 3rd trophy going to Edinburgh this season. Are you confident, skipper Kenny Mckinna?
Oh, we're confident that we can do well. Winning it's a slightly different matter. You need a certain amount of luck to go with your riding well. So fingers crossed, and we'll give it a best shot.
You're feeling pretty confident. Peter, you've just won the Premier League Riders' Championship of '97 at Coventry recently. You've always gone very well round Sandy Lane here at Oxford. You confident for tonight's meeting?
Just see how it goes and see how we finish at the end of the meeting. Hopefully we can have a good meeting and that, but you never know till the meeting's finished how it's going to go.
Have you discussed any tactics between you, how you're going to operate this meeting, bearing in mind the scoring formation's 4-3-2-0?
Yeah, just keep getting 5-1s.
Or 7-0, rather than 5-1, 7-2s, nils or whatever. But yeah, so you're generally confident, chaps. Obviously it's a very top-class field we've got here this evening. Any particular teams that you're concerned about?
No, we're looking at all 6. Obviously there's an equal threat from all teams, and we'll treat them all the same way.
OK, well, you've got 2 trophies already at Edinburgh this season so far. Obviously this is the 3rd one you're going for tonight. We wish you all the best and hope you enjoy your meeting.
Thank you.
With us now are the Oxford pair this evening, the skipper Neville Tatum and Lawrence Hare. Chaps, great performance for the Cheetahs this season in the Cup and the 4-team tournament. Obviously a little bit more disappointing in the league, but it's another trophy that we can go for this evening. Neville, what do you think the chance is going to be?
Well, it's going to be one of those meetings that with 6 programme rides that I think it's very important we get off to a good start. Obviously, if you get off to a good start, that you'll be much more up for it later on in the event, and hopefully maybe other parents that aren't doing quite so good aren't quite so up for it. But it's a very hard meeting. Home track advantage won't really be home track advantage because of the quality of rider. But I think that we have a good chance, and Lance's form has been particularly good of late, and I think things are looking pretty good.
Obviously it's going to be very interesting because the scoring formation is slightly different to normal Speedway. It's now 4-3-2-0. Lawrence, have Neville and yourself discussed any tactics for tonight's meeting?
I think just avoid the last places really. If you can avoid the last place, then you've won the heat. So it always swings in your favour. It's every heat is a heat 15 basically. With the top 2 from every team. So it's no easy rides.
That's certainly true. So like I say, if you can get those 2nd and 3rd positions, or especially 1st and 2nd, the points will pile on. And say it's a tough field here this evening. Have you got any teams that you're concerned about?
Everyone apart from ours, I think.
Everybody.
Everybody, yes. As I say, a very competitive field. But as I say, from Oxford's point of view, I'm sure the fans will get behind you this evening. As I say, it's another one-off trophy meeting, and I'm sure it'd be nice to have you on the roster in 1st place. So we wish you well, chaps, and good luck in this evening's meeting.
Thank you.
OK, with us now are the Exeter pairing this evening. That's Leigh Lanham and Micheal Coles. Leigh, recently you picked up a knock. How's the injury?
Oh, it's all right now. It just hurt at the time, and it ruled me out the rest of that meeting. But I'm OK now, fully fit.
But generally, Exeter and your forms were very good this season. You confident for tonight's meeting?
Yeah, confident, but not overconfident, because there's a lot of other boys who could say the same thing, really. So you know, that's going to be a hard meeting.
Yeah, certainly a tough field. Michael, familiar face to Cheetahs fans here at Cowley. Certainly some excellent performances through from the back when you rode for Oxford. How are you feeling for tonight's meeting?
Pretty good. Just had my engine done, so hopefully that'll be going good. Looks to be a fair bit of dirt on the track, so hopefully going to get a good meeting.
Could see quite a bit of passing through from the back, certainly if you missed the gate. But anyway, tactics-wise for tonight's meeting, have you discussed anything between you?
Not really. It's just you got to see how things go when you get out there. Try and make as many starts as you can and just go from there.
That's right, work on the team side. Obviously the point scoring formation 4-3-2-0 is going to play a big part on the outcome of tonight's meeting. Would you not agree with that?
Yes, it will. Sometimes it's better to get a second and a third than it is to have a first and a last. You know, it just all depends.
Okay, well, we wish you well, chaps. You've done very well in the league, qualifying for the playoffs for Exeter this season, and obviously I'm sure you'll be keen to get a trophy here this evening.
Certainly will.
Good luck. With me now are the league champions pair this evening, the Reading racers. That's Dave Mullett and Leigh Richardson. Leigh, introduced at a late notice to this meeting. We thought David Steen was going to be here.
Yeah, I was. He got injured last Saturday at the Isle of Wight, and he's done all his knee ligaments. So I got called in at the last minute, and I'm here now.
So in at the deep end, basically, for tonight, you feeling confident for the racers?
Yeah, I think so. You know, Dave's a very good chapper. He rides very well here, and if I can make some starts and get out in front, then I'm sure we'll be well up there.
Okay, Dave, skipper of the races this season. Great season in the league for the Reading. You picked up the league championship in the last week. Obviously, looking for another trophy this evening, I would have thought.
Yeah, it'd be very nice. My job it was to win the league, and we've actually done that. You know, that's probably the biggest thing that we could win this year. So we've done that. So yeah, it'd just be a bonus if we can do this. But you know, it's not. You know, we haven't got to win this tonight. We haven't ridden for a while, so we'll be out there trying, and hopefully things will go well for us.
Okay, well, it's great to have you here. You've obviously recovered from your recent injury. The point scoring system tonight is going to be interesting. 4-3-2-0. Have you discussed any tactics between you about how you're going to tackle this championship?
No, not really. We just have to see what sort of positions we're in when the tapes go up. Really, you know, if I'm third and Leigh's last, or the other way around, it doesn't matter what tactics you discuss. You know, you're going to have a job to pass this calibre of riders.
Okay, yeah, it's a great field. Leigh, any particular teams that stand out from the field?
Yeah, I think Edinburgh and Long Eaton are probably the main threats, I think. You know, if we can overhaul them, then, you know, but saying that, they're all hard, you know. Sheffield have got very strong with Robbie Kessler and Scott Smith. It's all the top riders here, so it's anyone's, really.
Okay, well, we wish you all the best, chaps. Thanks very much for talking to us, and good luck for this evening's meeting.
Well, good to hear from all 7 pairs then, as the riders, well, they are now ready for heat number 1. This one, well, it sees Exeter v Edinburgh, Leigh Lanham and Micheal Coles. They're out against Kenny Mckinna and Peter Carr. So to remind you of the scoring system, of course, 4 points for a win, 3 points for a second, 2 points for a third, and no points for 4th place. So heat number 1 of this 1997 Premier League Best Pairs that gets underway. And well, it is the Exeter rider Micheal Coles who leads the way from Leigh Lanham in 2nd place, and Kenny Mckinna, he's in 3rd with Peter Carr. Well, he's trying to come through on the inside of his captain, and well, it looks as if he may come through into 3rd spot. Indeed he has, but it is Micheal Coles who leads the way for the Falcons from Leigh Lanham in 2nd place, and Peter Carr now back in 3rd. So as it stands, it's a 7-2 for Exeter. Coles here, of course, former rider here at Oxford for a couple of seasons. He's out in front from Lanham, still holding off Peter Carr in 2nd place, and Kenny Mckinna, well, he's getting dropped a bit in this one as Peter Carr tries to come through on the inside, but Lanham, well, he's still holding him off. They're on the final lap, and it is still Micheal Coles who's out in front. Carr, well, can he find a way through on the inside, or will Lanham hold him off as they come round on this 3rd and 4th bend for the last time? Micheal Coles is going to get the victory, and it's going to be close for 2nd, but Leigh Lanham, well, he just holds off Peter Carr. Some good action in that one, very close racing indeed. But it is Micheal Coles who gets the win for the Falcons. 60.8 was his winning time, and it is 7 points to the Devon side, just 2 to the Scots. The riders out for heat number 2, and this one, well, it is Oxford v Reading, 2 great rivals, of course, over the years. And well, the two sets of riders, of course, we've got Neville Tatum in red, in blue it is Lawrence Hare, in white Dave Mullett, and in yellow and black it is Lee Richardson, who's come in to replace David Steen, who had come in to replace Glenn Cunningham. But Lee, well, he's had a good season for the racers this year. Reading, of course, league champions. Heat number 2 gets underway. At Cannox would use their home track advantage as the race gets underway. In fact, it is Lawrence Hare who's made a good start, and he leads the way from Dave Mullett, who's come through in the second place, with Neville Tatum and Lee Richardson. Well, they're having good battle there for third place, but Richardson, in fact, it is who's come through past the Oxford number 1. And well, as it stands at the moment, it is a 5-4 for the racers. And in actual fact, Lawrence Hare, he's had all sorts of problems there on the top turn, and he's gone from first to last. Well, what on earth happened to him there? We just missed it, unfortunately, but he came to grief on that third and fourth bend, and it's allowed David Mullett, Lee Richardson through in a first and second. Neville Tatum, well, he's quite a distance behind, back in third. They're on the final lap, and it does look as if the Reading racers are going to get a 7-2 themselves to join Exeter after a couple of races. Lawrence Hare will be very disappointed indeed with that mistake, and it's allowed Mullett and Richardson through in a first and second, with Neville Tatum getting a point in third. Lawrence Hare will be kicking himself after that. 61.07, that was David's winning time. A 7-2 for the racers. And well, back in the pits, there is David Mullett just taking his crash helmet off, and Lee Richardson and his mentor, John Davis, discussing their next outing, no doubt. Tim Sugar, the team manager of the racers. Neville Tatum, obviously disappointed with his opening ride. Lawrence Hare, well, he most certainly will be as well, leading until that mistake on the second lap. So the riders coming out then for heat number 3, and this one, well, it sees Long Eaton v Glasgow off gate number 1. It is Martin Dixon off gate number 2. We've got Neil Collins off 3, Cole Stonehewer, and from the outside it is Mick Pell. So the riders settling down then. Heat number 3 is about to get underway as they come out of the start, and well, it's a pretty even break with Cole Stonehewer. In fact, Neil Collins has come down under a challenge here from Stoney, and well, the red lights are on, and well, I should imagine that'll be a restart with all 4. We'll take another look at it, and well, we can see that Cole Stonehewer and Neil Collins coming to grief, and well, indeed it's going to be a restart with all 4 riders. So they've made it back round to the start line then for the restart of heat number 3, Long Eaton v Glasgow, and this time Stonehewer, well, he has just beaten Neil Collins to that first bend, and he leads away from Martin Dixon in second place. Mick Pell and Collins were there in third and fourth, so again it looks like for the third time in 3 heats it's going to be a maximum heat advantage, and the maximum 7 points for one of these sides, and Long Eaton it is at the moment who are out in front. Cole Stonehewer in first place from Martin Dixon. Neil Collins has come through in the third, trying to close in on Mad Dog. Mick Pell, he's at the back, but Stoney and Dicko, of course, part of the Long Eaton side that won the 4s at Peterborough beginning of August, so they know what success is about. They lead the way. They may be finishing runners up in the league as well, behind Reading. It is going to be a win for Cole Stonehewer, and the maximum 7 points as Martin Dixon joins him at the front. Neil Collins 2 points back in third. 60.58 was Cole's winning time, and the Finner Invaders join the Racers and Falcons on 7 points apiece after their opening rides. So the riders out for heat number 4 then, and well, this sees the first appearance of Robbie Kessler and Scott Smith in red and white, and where the Falcons pair come out for their second ride, Leigh Lanham and Micheal Coles, as heat number 4 gets underway. And well, it looks as if it is Micheal Coles who may be coming around the outside. Indeed he has. He leads the way from Robbie Kessler in second place. Leigh Lanham, well, he's trying to find a way past Scott Smith. Smith, well, he just goes out a little bit too wide there, and Lanham, well, he's through in a flash. And so as it stands at the moment, it is a 5-3, a 6-3 rather, to the Exeter Falcons. So this would give them 13 points after their first 2 rides, and that is a good start. 21 heats to remind you, and each pair have 6 outings, facing each other team, of course. And Micheal Coles, well, it's going to be a heat advantage for Exeter against Sheffield, as Colesy gets the win. That's 2 wins out of 2 for him, showing that he knows the quickest way around Cowley Stadium. He wins heat number 4. Second place goes to Robbie Kessler. Third place to Leigh Lanham, who found a way through on the inside. 60.89. That was Michael's winning time, and we'll be delighted with that. The first rider in the yellow helmet colour to get a victory. And coming round for a lap of honour as well, and certainly, as Richard Palmer said there, showing that he has not lost his form around here. 2 wins out of 2. And back in the pits there is his teammate Leigh Lanham, after coming through past Scott Smith, and we're just waiting for Colesy to come back into the pits. There he is after his lap of honour. And it really has been a superb start by him. So Exeter, well, they're setting out their stall early on, having a few words there with Bob Coles, of course, Michael's dad. Robbie Kessler having a look to see when he'll be out next, along with Scotty. On to heat number 5 then of this 1997 Premier League best pairs, and with this one it sees Edinburgh out against Oxford. Peter Carr, he's off gate number 1. Off gate number 2 it is Lawrence Hare, who's very disappointed indeed in his first ride, of course, having led to that second lap and then making that mistake on the top turn. Mounted on Mark Lorham's machinery here this evening. Off gate number 3 it is Kenny Mckinna, who had a poor last in his first ride, and from the outside Neville Tatum, who managed a 3rd place in his first outing, as heat number 5 gets underway. Edinburgh v Oxford, and well, it is the Oxford Cheetah Lawrence Hare who leads the way from Peter Carr in 2nd place, and Kenny Mckinna, well, he's holding on to 3rd ahead of Neville Tatum, who's looking out of sorts here early on. Of course, the number 1 rider in the Oxford averages, but he has dipped somewhat over the last month or so. Started off like an express train in the Knockout Cup in the early season matches, but he has struggled somewhat of late. His teammate seems to be going from strength to strength now, mounted on Laramski's machinery, and he leads the way. He's making no mistake here in heat number 5, although Peter Carr, well, he's trying to close in. They're on the final lap. Kenny Mckinna, he's holding on the 3rd place, so as it stands at the moment, it would be a 5 points to Edinburgh, just 4 to Oxford, with Neville Tatum in last place, but his teammate is going to get the victory. 2nd place goes to Peter Carr, 3rd spot to Kenny Mckinna. Neville Tatum, a poor last for him in that one, 60.56. That was Lowell's winning time, another win for a rider in a yellow helmet colour, and coming round no doubt for a well-deserved lap of honour. Oxford, where they move on to 6 points. The Monarchs, they've got 7. The riders out then for heat number 6, and this one, well, it sees Reading v Long Eaton, so a big one in heat 6. Both these sides, of course, unbeaten, having scored 7 points in their opening races. This one, well, it sees Dave Mullett coming out in red, Lee Richardson in blue, in white it is Cole Stonehewer, and in yellow and black Martin Dixon. So the start marshal just getting the riders up into line, so this could have a big bearing as to the final result of the 1997 Premier League best pairs. Heat number 6 gets underway, And well, in fact, it is Leigh Richardson who's made the best skate, and he leads the way. And David Mullett, well, he's come round and joined him at the front. So that's a surprise. Young Leigh out in first place from his captain. Mullett in second place with Martin Dixon and Cole Stonehewer. They're only back in third and fourth. So Reading, well, they're setting their stall out early here as Stonehewer, well, he's trying to come through in a third place. Dixon, well, they're both trying to find a way past Dave Mullett, who's just returned from injury, but Stoney, well, he's fallen on the top turn. He's getting off the track in time, but it is Leigh Richardson who's leading the way. Who'd have thought that before this race started? But he's out in front from Dave Mullett in second place. Martin Dixon back in third. So it's a 7-2 at the moment for the racers, and this would move them into the lead after the opening 2 rounds of races. But Leigh Richardson it is who's going to get a victory. He's behind his teammate in his first ride, but he gets a win in his own right in heat number 6. Second place to Mullett, third spot to Dixon. 60.26 was the winning time, and a fantastic win there for Leigh in heat number 6. 7 points to Reading. They move out in front on 14 points, 1 ahead of the Falcons. And well, Leigh obviously delighted with that. Again, John Davis never far away from his young protege. Helps him out as often as he can. Dave Mullett, second place behind his young teammate in that one. And well, there's Cole Stonehewer working on his machine. Of course, a fall in that ride. The Invaders dropping behind the racers now. Dicko won't be pleased with his third place. So the riders coming out for heat number 7. This will complete the second lot of rides for each of the pairs. And this one, well, it sees Sheffield out against Glasgow. Robbie Kessler comes out in red. In blue it is Scott Smith. In white, Neil Collins. And in yellow and black, Mick Pell. So the racers, well, of course, they're going to lead. They can't be overtaken. They've got a maximum 14 points so far. Exeter, well, they're just behind them on 13. But we have a full rundown after this. Heat number 7, Sheffield v Glasgow, as it gets underway. And well, it looks like Kessler's made a good gate off of 3. Indeed he has. He leads the way from Scott Smith in second place, Neil Collins in third, and Mick Pell, well, he's at the back once more. But the 2 Glasgow riders, well, they're queuing up to try and find a way past Scott Smith as Kessler, well, he's extending his lead out in front. He really has been one of the finds in the Premier League this season, one of the stars of it, as the young German has come on leaps and bounds. One of the success stories at Owlerton, as Neil Collins, well, he's trying to find a way past Scott Smith on the inside, but Scud, well, he's holding him off at the moment. So the Star Tigers, well, they could be scoring 7 points in this one. Glasgow, well, it's been a bit of a struggle for them early on. They had a 7-2 reversal in their opening heat, and it looks like it's going to happen again unless Collins can find a way past one of the riders that can overtake, of course. But Scott Smith, well, he's holding him off at the moment. They're on the final bend, and Robbie Kessler, well, he's going to get the victory. And second place, that goes to Smith. Third spot to Neil Collins, for 7 points to Sheffield, as Kessler wins it in a time of 62.03 seconds. Sheffield, well, they now move on to 10 points. Glasgow have got 4, Long Eaton 9, Reading 14, Oxford 6, Edinburgh 9, Exeter 13. So the racers it is who just lead at the moment. Exeter in second, and Sheffield move into third place.
The racing skills there of the Sheffield pair.
So the riders out for heat number 8 as they start their third round of rides, and this one, well, it sees Exeter against Oxford. Leigh Lanham comes out in red. In blue it is Micheal Coles. In white, Neville Tatum. In yellow and black, Lawrence Hare. The Falcons currently in second place. The Cheetahs, well, they're struggling, or we should say Neville Tatum is struggling, and he is again in heat number 8. He's at the back, but it is Lawrence Hare who's out in front from Micheal Coles in second place. Leigh Lanham, well, he's holding off Neville Tatum at the moment for third spot. So Neville, well, it really is a big struggle for him. His teammates, well, he really is flying on Mark Lorham's machinery this evening. Micheal Coles, well, he's won his first 2 rides. It looks like he could be suffering his first defeat in heat number 8 though, but the Falcons, where they still look as if they're going to score 5 points to the Cheetahs 4. As Neville Tatum, well, he's at some distance behind. Really looks as if he's on very slow machinery here this evening, as Lawrence Hare leads there on the final lap. And well, he could be unbeaten at this stage. Of course, he was leading in his first race when he came a cropper on the top turn, but no such problems for him. In heat number 8, he crosses the line with a wheelie. Second place goes to Micheal Coles. Third spot to Leigh Lanham. 5 points to Exeter, 4 points to Oxford, 61.4. That was Lawrence's winning time. Another win for a rider in the yellow helmet colour. Exeter, well, they move on to 18 points. Oxford, they've just scored 10. And well, back in the pits, there is Lawrence. And well, his dad, as is the case most weeks, he's with him in the pits. And well, congratulations there from Leigh Lanham, who started off with a second place and 2 thirds. And well, whoosh, says Micheal Coles. That's how Lawrence Hare went past him, talking there with Dad Bob. So heat number 9 then, the riders are at the start line, and this one, well, it sees Reading v Edinburgh. The Monarchs, well, they've only scored 7 points so far. They'll be hoping to do much better in this one. Reading, of course, well, they're unbeaten on 14 points after the first 2 rounds. This one, well, it sees Dave Mullett coming out in red, Lee Richardson in blue, in white Kenny Mckinna, and Peter Carr in yellow and black. Peter Carr, well, he started off with a 3rd and a 2nd place. Kenny Mack a last and a 3rd, so he'll certainly be hoping to improve on this one. So heat number 9 then, Reading v Edinburgh gets underway. These teams, well, they've had plenty of great battles this year, as Lee Richardson, well, he's come all the way around the outside and has moved through in the first place from Kenny Mckinna in 2nd place with Dave Mullett. Well, he was in 3rd, but in fact he's fallen, and well, he is remounting, but he's in last place. Peter Carr has come through into 3rd spot, so the Monarchs, well, they could be scoring 5 points in this one, and the racers, well, it looks like they're only going to score 4, although young Lee, well, he's doing very well indeed once more. He's out in front from this very experienced pairing of Kenny Mckinna and Peter Carr. But Lee Richardson, well, he's certainly doing his best to give Reading, or win Reading, this 1997 Premier League Best Pairs trophy. A 3rd choice replacement. He's going to get a win in heat number 9 in good fashion as well. 2nd place goes to Kenny Mckinna, 3rd spot to Peter Carr, as Lee wins it in a time of 60.85. And well, we'll take another look and see exactly how he came through into 1st place in quite breathtaking style. Dave Mullett falling in that race. 4 points to Reading, 5 points to Edinburgh. The riders out for heat number 10. This one, well, it sees Long Eaton against Sheffield. The Invaders, well, they're on 9 points so far. The Tigers, were there on 10, and well, it's Cole Stonehewer and Martin Dixon, of course, out against Robbie Kessler and Scott Smith. Riders taking their time coming up to the start line for heat number 10. The racers, well, they are now level on 18 points with Exeter. Heat number 10 gets underway as the riders go out of the start, and in fact it is Martin Dixon who's made a good gate. Here comes Cole Stonehewer trying to join his teammate at the front, but the rider in white, Robbie Kessler, well, he's having a good battle there with Stoney, as Dicko, well, in fact he's gone out very wide indeed, and both Cole Stonehewer and Robbie Kessler have come through into 1st and 2nd, but now Dixon, well, he's trying to fight back again on the inside of the German, and here he comes hard on the inside, and it looks like he may have forced Kessler out wide. Indeed he has. So he's gone from 1st to 3rd, back to 2nd and behind his teammate in this one. So the Finner Invaders, well, a 7 points here would move them to within just a couple of Exeter and Reading at the halfway stage, as Cole Stonehewer, well, he's leading his second race of the meeting, won heat number 3, and he's out in front again in race number 10. His teammate is joining him, so they could be getting their second 7-pointer of the meeting. Indeed they do. Stoney wins it from Dicko in second place, Robbie Kessler in third, Scott Smith not getting a look in that one. 61.28 was the winning time, and with some fine action in heat number 10. We can take another look at some of it, and where you can see once more as they come out of the start. And watch here, Martin Dixon, well, he was out in front, but he makes a mistake here on the third and fourth bend as Stoney came through into first place. Robbie Kessler came through in a second, but watch for Dixon again, sweeping through on the inside. But Robbie, well, he's certainly a brave rider, holding on to second place down that back straight, but Dicko really forces him out wide there. 7 points to Long Eaton in heat number 10. And well, back in the pits there is Cole Stonehewer, and well, pretty serious looking now and having a few words there with Paul Lee, of course, who was one of the heroes for Long Eaton at the fours final. Martin Dixon, certainly a bit more serious than when he was having his interview with us. Robbie Kessler, third place in that one, he won't be too pleased. Nor was Scott Smith, just changing his gearing before his next ride. So heat number 11 then, the last one before the interval, and this one, well, it sees Glasgow against Exeter. Glasgow the only team now not to have completed 3 race rides. Exeter, well, they have done, and well, this will be their 4th outing. They're on 18 points so far, the same as Reading, of course. Long Eaton in third place on 16. Heat number 11, Neil Collins, Mick Pell, Leigh Lanham, Micheal Coles as the race gets underway, and Coles, here it is, who's made a good gate. He leads away, but the rider in blue, that is Mick Pell, he's come through in the first place. Micheal Coles now back in second. Leigh Lanham and Neil Collins, well, they're having a great battle there for third spot. And well, it is Collins who looks like he may have come through into third place. But Lanham, well, he's fighting back again on the outside. Some free action in heat number 11, the racing. Well, it certainly is warming up now, as Micheal Coles, in fact, has now come through in the first place from Mick Pell in second place. Leigh Lanham and Neil Collins, where they're having a great scrap for third, and Lanham it is who's come back through into third place, although he's lost control there on the top turn, and Collins comes back through in the third spot. So it's 5 points to Glasgow at the moment, just 4 to Exeter as Micheal Coles, where he leads the way. But Leigh Lanham, well, he's going to give it one last go on this final lap, as his teammate Micheal Coles, he's going to get the victory. Second place goes to Mick Pell, third spot to Neil Collins. Some terrific action in that one though, as Micheal, well, he wins it in a time of 61.61 seconds. The Falcons, well, they move on to 22 points. And well, we'll take another look at some of that great action. You can see Micheal Coles leads the way from Mick Pell in second place. Leigh Lanham, well, he was all over the track in this heat, as Coles, in fact, he's been overtaken there, as you can see, by Mick Pell, but he fights a way back through on the inside. Neil Collins, well, he's moved through into third spot ahead of Lanham. But watch here for Colesy as he comes diving through on the inside of the Glasgow captain into first place. And then Neil Collins, well, he gets the better of Leigh Lanham, but Leigh, well, he's fighting back again on the outside. Exeter, they know they've got a good chance of winning their first silverware for some considerable time. They finished second at the last time this was held as a National League competition back in 1990. Steve Bridgen and Peter Jeffrey behind Andy Galvin and Steve Schofield. But Leigh Lanham unable to get amongst the points in this one. Exeter, well, they're on 22. They've ridden 4 races, one more than the other 6 teams. And Reading, well, they're on 18. Long Eaton 16, Sheffield and Edinburgh 12 apiece. Oxford on 10, Glasgow on 9. We're in the pits. with Leigh Lanham, and well, there's Neil Collins having a few words with Mick Pell, and now let's go and join Richard Palmer, who's talking with young Lee Richardson.
Lee, interval of this meeting, Reading on 18 points, just behind Exeter at the moment, but obviously they rode an extra race. Great performance from yourself this evening, introduced in place of David Steen, but unbeaten so far.
Yeah, you know, it's gone quite good actually. My mentor John Davis is here, so you know, he's helped me out at the starts like usual, and I've just been making them tonight. I don't know why really, but I've ridden in 2 Elite League matches, Sunday at Eastbourne and Wednesday at Kings Lynn, and I think that's just helped me out tremendously. I think it's just brought me on. I think being that Elite League is a little bit better than this league, and I think it's just helped me a little bit in my starting, I think.
Obviously it's more important in the Elite League to make a start, and certainly here tonight you've made some electric starts, and I know John Davis, every race he's been out there watching what you're doing, and certainly during the interval while I've just done the draw, you've actually been out there looking at gate positions. What were you looking for?
Well, you know, obviously the starts are all different, and there's a lot of ruts where the back wheel digs into the track, but it causes problems because if you get in the wrong rut, or you want a nice little firm bit, so you get a bit of bite when you drop the clutch. And you know, John built his career on starting. He was a very good starter, so he gives me a lot of tips on the best place to go.
Well, you're certainly doing very well this evening here. Obviously Reading doing very well, second at the moment, but certainly they've got an extra ride in hand on Exeter. Do you think you can pull it off?
I hope so. You know, if Dave can do something in this race, he fell in the last one. If me and him can pull something off here, I'm off gate 4, he's off gate 2. If I can make it and Dave can make it, then I think we could win this tonight.
Well, I certainly think if you continue riding the way you are, you're going to be there or thereabouts. Anyway, wish you well for the rest of the meeting, Lee. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Michael, great performance so far for Exeter this evening, only beaten by Oxford's Lawrence Hare. How do you feel about your performance so far?
Well, thoroughly enjoyed it, making good starts, track's in good condition. We've got our 2 toughest races. Yeah, I think we got Long Eaton in the next one, and we got Reading as well, so just got to see what happens after then.
Say obviously Reading are going to be a very tough opposition in the latter stages of the meeting, but certainly Exeter got the upper hand so far. You're in the lead at the interval stage, although you have run an extra meeting, but certainly a great performance from both you and Lee.
Yeah, Lee's putting in a good effort, I'm putting in some effort, and hopefully we can see what happens at the end of the day.
Let's say you great performance in that Heat 11, but obviously Lee just not having the luck coming off that last turn. Let's say he's been relegated to 4th position, but certainly a tough race.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate I was in 2nd place, and it's easier to pass 1 rider than it is when you've got 3 riders in front of you taking all the dirt. It does make it hard to pass.
Yeah, but certainly from Exeter's point of view, it would be nice to take a trophy back to the county ground, wouldn't it?
Yes, it certainly would.
Because it's a long time since Exeter have won anything.
Yes, it is.
OK, well, we wish you best for the rest of the meeting. Obviously, you're in the lead at the moment, Exeter on 22 points. Let's say wish you well in your remaining 2 rides.
OK, cheers.
Cheers, Michael.
Cheers, Mark.
Well, good to hear from Lee and also Micheal Coles as the riders come out for heat number 12. We start the second half of this meeting. Edinburgh v Long Eaton, so a big one especially for Long Eaton as the riders come out then for heat number 12. And this one, Kenny Mckinna and Peter Carr out against Cole Stonehewer and Martin Dixon. The Invaders, where they have had a couple of maximum heat advantages. Edinburgh, where they've struggled a little bit here this evening as heat number 12 gets underway, and well, it is the 2 Edinburgh boys who lead the way. Kenny Mckinna from, well, Peter Carr was in 2nd place, but he's been passed on the outside by Cole Stonehewer, on the inside by Martin Dixon, but it is Kenny Mckinna who still leads the way from Stonehewer in 2nd place. So this is not such good news for Long Eaton, although Stoney, well, here he comes on the inside of Mckinna, and he's moved through into 1st place, and now Dixon, well, he's also trying to find a way past, and he's come through into 2nd spot. So the Invaders, well, they really are up for this meeting here this evening, winners of the 4s, and well, they wish to add more silverware to the cupboard as Cole Stonehewer has a look behind and sees that it is his teammate in 2nd place, Kenny Mckinna, where he's gone from 1st to last. Peter Carr has come through into 3rd spot. So this will give Long Eaton another 7 points and will put them on to 23 as Stoney wins it from Dicko, 3rd spot to Peter Carr. Then that'll give the Long Eaton fans plenty to cheer about as Cole wins his 3rd race of the meeting. he gets the victory, and we'll take another look at some of the action. Now you can see here it is Kenny Mckinna who leads the way, but not for long, as Stoney, well, he finds a way through on the inside, and then watch here for Mad Dog Dixon as he also comes through on the inside to set up a maximum 7 points for Long Eaton. And coming round for a lap of honour, Long Eaton, well, they now move 1 point ahead of the Falcons. Reading with a race in hand. On to heat number 13 then, and this one, well, it sees Oxford out against Glasgow. The Cheetahs, well, they've scored just 10 points so far. Glasgow were there on 9, so the two basement clubs in this tournament coming out in this one. Neville Tatum and Lawrence Hare out against Neil Collins and Mick Pell as heat number 13 gets underway. And well, in fact, the rider in yellow and black, he's come down. Mick Pell under pressure there from Neville Tatum. Not surprisingly, the red lights have come on. We'll take another look at that incident. And well, it certainly did look like an unsatisfactory start. That's what's been called by the referee, and we're going to have a restart with all four. And so the four riders have made it back to the start line then. Neville Tatum, who is coming out on his second bike in this one, he's off gate number 1 off 2. It is Mick Pell off 3, Lawrence Hare, and from the outside, Neil Collins as heat number 13 gets underway, second time of asking. And this time Tatum has made a good gate, and Lawrence Hare has come around to join him at the front, so possibilities here for the Oxford Cheetahs to score maximum 7 points as Lawrence Hare takes that outside line. Neville Tatum on the inner, but it is the rider in yellow and black, Mick Pell, who's now trying to come through on the inside of Tatum, and he's managed to do so, splitting the Oxford pair. Neil Collins, he's at the back, although Tatum, well, he's going out wide. And Collins may be coming through on the inside, but no, Neville holding him off at the moment. But Lawrence Hare again, he's out in front. Really has been one of the stars of the night so far. He leads the way from Mickey Pell in second place, and Tatum, well, now he's lost third place, or as he no, he is not, he's still holding on to third spot. He's going out very wide indeed on the bends. Neil Collins is back in last place, where it's going to be victory for Lawrence Hare. Second place goes to Mick Pell, and will Neville Tatum hold on for third? Indeed he will, just ahead of Neil Collins for the racing. Well, it certainly is warming up as Lowell, he wins his third race of the meeting. 61.73, that was his winning time. And not surprisingly, coming round for a well-deserved lap of honour from the Oxford fans.
Machine, great stuff and great performance. Over to you, Dave.
And well, here he comes back in the pits following yet another victory. Just having the clutch lubricated there, as you can see. Although Neville, well, he won't be too pleased at all with his performance this evening, when he's been a pale shadow of his normal self. Oxford, well, they move on to 16 points after that one. And those 3 points scored by Mickey Pell moves Glasgow on to 12. So the riders coming out for heat number 14 then. This one, well, it sees Sheffield v Reading, and well, we've got Scott Smith off gate number 1, off gate 2 it is Dave Mullett, off gate number 3 Robbie Kessler, and from the outside Dave Steen. After this one, all 7 pairs have had 4 rides, and well, at the moment Long Eaton lead on 23, Exeter on 22. Reading, well, they go into this race on 18 points. Sheffield, well, they've scored 12 so far. Heat number 14 gets underway, and it looks as if Dave Mullett has made the gate, but here comes Kessler around the outside. He moves through in the first place from Mullett in second place. Lee Richardson has come through in the third ahead of Scott Smith, who's struggling a bit here this evening. But it is Robbie Kessler who leads the way. He's had one race win this evening, and well, it could be heading towards another one, but Dave Mullett, well, he's trying to find a way past Mullett. Well, he's had one race win in his first ride. He's had a fall since then, and a second place, and well, he's trying to get through to lead the way once more at 5 points. Reading are on at the moment, and well, this would move them into the lead 2/3 of the way through the meeting. Kessler is trying to hold off Mullett at the moment. The rider in the top of the Premier League averages is trying so desperately to find a way past. He's coming round on the outside of the star Sheffield rider, but can the German hold on? It looks as if he may be able to. It's a race to the line as they cross it, where Kessler just gets the win over Dave Mullett in second place, Leigh Richardson in third. But again, some super speedway, it really is warming up now, but Kessler it is who gets the victory in the red helmet colour, 62.2. That was the winning time. The win being called by the announcer here this evening. So the riders coming out for heat number 15 then. This is a big one. It sees Long Eaton v Exeter, and with these teams there's only a point separates the pair of them. Long Eaton lead after 4 rounds on 23, Reading and Exeter on 22. Oxford and Sheffield are on 16 apiece, Edinburgh 14, Glasgow on 12. Heat number 15, Leigh Lanham, Micheal Coles, Stonehewer, Martin Dixon. The race gets underway, and well, it is Martin Dixon who leads the way, but Micheal Coles, well, he's back in second place. Stonehewer in third, with Leigh Lanham at the back, but here comes Stoney on the inside of Coles, and he's come through to join Dicko out in front. So the two Long Eaton riders are in first and second, and the 7 points here would certainly do their cause no harm at all. As Martin Dixon has a look across for his teammate Stonehewer. Micheal Coles only back in third place in this one. He'd started off with 3 race wins in a second in his opening 4 rides, but he's back in third spot in heat number 15 as Martin Dixon still leads the way. They're on the final lap. Stonehewer in second place. As we say, this was a big race, with the Finner Invaders leading by just a point after 4 rounds, but they're going to move 6 points in front of Exeter now as Dicko gets the victory. 2 points goes to Stonehewer, 1 to Micheal Coles. 61.78 was the winning time, and well, Martin Dixon led from tapes to flag, but Stonehewer, well, he had to do the work from the back. We'll take another look at it, and well, you can see again as the riders come out of the start. And watch here, Micheal Coles for a minute, it looks as if he was going to come around the outside of Dicko, but Stonehewer will watch him. He rides a terrific bend here on that third and fourth turn. He came through into second place. That was where he stayed. And well, plenty of support for this pair in the crowd. They now move on to 30 points, setting the pace early with 1 race remaining. And here come the jubilant Long Eaton pair back into the pits after that 7 points. And well, we had a bit of a miscalculation earlier on. Reading, in fact, were on the same points as Long Eaton on 23, not 22 as we said earlier. So that certainly puts the pressure right back on the racers. They need 7 points in their next race if they're going to go into their last round level.
I just caught in between everyone on the first turn and drived under Coles. I don't know what you was.
And we'll just explain exactly what happened.
I was all excited.
And well, they've certainly got a great chance now of carrying off the silverware. Micheal Coles and Leigh Lanham, well, I think that's put paid to any chance they had. As the riders come out for heat number 16. This one, all Scottish affair, Glasgow v Edinburgh. And well, what passions these two teams have evoked over the years. Heat number 16, neither of them really in with a chance here this evening over this particular competition. Edinburgh were there currently on 14 points, and Glasgow were there on 12. Heat number 16 then is underway, and well, in fact it is Peter Carr who makes the gate for Edinburgh, but here comes Mick Pell in the second place. Kenny McKinna's moved through in a third ahead of Neil Collins. Although Neil is trying to come through on that inside, and it looks like he may come down. No, he has not. Kenny Mckinna, will he still hold him up at the moment? Although now Collins, does he come back? Does he come through into third spot? He does indeed. So Mckinna, well, it's not been a particularly good meeting for him this evening. Second and third, that's been his best ride so far. Looks like he's heading towards a second last place. Peter Carr, meanwhile, it looks like he might be getting his second victory of the meeting. But these riders and teams are only bit players here this evening now, as Peter Carr, well, he's going to come round to collect a victory in heat number 16. He takes checkered flag. Second spot goes to the rider in blue. That is Mick Pell. Third spot to Neil Collins. Kenny Mack at the back. 4 points to Edinburgh. 5 points to Glasgow. 61.84. That was Peter's winning time. Victory for him in heat 16. On to heat number 17, and this one, well, it sees Oxford out against Sheffield. Oxford, well, they've scored just 16 points so far, the same as Sheffield in actual fact. Neville Tatum really has been struggling badly. He's off gate number 1 off 2. It is Robbie Kessler. He's had a pretty good meeting off gate 3. Lawrence Hare, well, he's done very well indeed from the outside. Scott Smith, well, it's been a struggle for Scotty. He's just scored 1 second place so far and 3 lasts as heat number 17 gets underway. And well, it is Kessler from the inside who makes the gate, but watch here for Lawrence Hare. It looks like he may come around on the outside. It's wheel-to-wheel stuff as they go into that third turn, but it is Lawrence Hare who comes out of the fourth bend in front from Kessler in second place. Scott Smith has come through in a third ahead of Neville Tatum, who finds himself at the back once more. So Sheffield, well, they could be scoring 5 points in this one to Oxford's 4. Couple of laps gone, and Lawrence Hare really has pulled out a big lead over the German in second place. And well, I'm sure Neville feels pretty bad the way he's unable to be competitive here this evening, especially the way that Lawrence is going. He's going to come round and score another victory in heat number 17. He takes the checkered flag. Second spot goes to Robbie Kessler. Third spot to Scott Smith. 5 points to Sheffield. 4 to Oxford. 61.7. That was Lowell's winning time. And well, it looks in fact as if he's had mechanical problems at the end of the race. A fortunate time for it to happen. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. So the rider's out for heat number 18, and well, it's Exeter v Reading in this one, and this is the Falcons' final outing. They're on 24 points. Reading, they're on 23. Of course, Long Eaton lead on 30. So big race this, especially for the Reading racers. Heat number 18, Dave Mullett, Leigh Richardson, Leigh Lanham, Micheal Coles as the heat gets underway. And well, it is Micheal Coles who leads the way, and Lanham, well, he's trying the big one around the outside, but Leigh Richardson has come through in a second place. Dave Mullett in third, with Lanham in last place. So the racers, well, they're holding on to 5 points at the moment, though. Lanham, well, here he comes through on the inside of Dave Mullett. He's moved through into third spot, but not for long, as Mullett, well, he comes back at him on the inside. The racing, well, it certainly has improved in the second half of this 1997 Premier League Best Pairs meeting, as Micheal Coles, well, it looks like he's going to finish with a race victory. It's been a good meeting for him, heading towards his fourth win. Leigh Richardson, well, he's giving it a good go in second place with Dave Mullett. Well, he's holding on to third spot at the moment. Leigh Lanham went wide on that top turn. It looks as if Coles is going to get the victory, but Reading are going to score 5 points, and this would move them to within a couple of points of Long Eaton with the final race. Their final race is coming up, as Exeter's Micheal Coles, he's finishing with a victory. Second place goes to Leigh Richardson. Third spot to Dave Mullett, with Leigh Lanham at the back. Well, again, some good action in heat number 18. 61.69 was Coles' winning time. Exeter have finished on 28 points. They can't win this meeting. It could be a rostrum place for them, though, And we'll take another look at some of that good action over those first couple of laps. And we can see as the riders come out of the start, and well, it was Micheal Coles who made a good gate. Lanham was trying the big one around the outside, but Lee Richardson, well, he nipped through into second place. Dave Mullett, well, he came through into third, but Lee, well, he did give it a good go down the home straight. You can see he came through into third spot momentarily, but Mullett came back at him on the inside, switching back underneath him. And well, that was how the positions remained. 5 points to Reading, 4 to the Falcons. And well, it's been a great individual display by Micheal Coles. He finishes with 27 points. Leigh Lanham scores 7, total 28. And well, back in the pits there is Lee Richardson. Another fine ride by him, second place in that one. So it's all come down to Long Eaton and Reading as to who are going to win this best pairs here this evening. Graham Drury, well, he's just informed his riders they're out in the next race. And well, calm down, says Stoney. They're not in fact out to heat number 20. So Graham just getting a bit ahead of himself. Micheal Coles, say fine meeting by him, but not quite enough to give the Falcons chance of victory. They could still well finish on the rostrum though. Heat number 19. This one, well, it sees Edinburgh against Sheffield. So neither of these two teams can get on the rostrum. Edinburgh, well, they've scored 18 points so far. Sheffield, in fact, they've scored 21, so 7 points for them in their last ride may give them a chance of pipping Exeter as heat number 19 gets underway. And well, in fact, it doesn't look as if that is going to happen, because Peter Carr takes the lead for the Monarchs from Scott Smith in second place, Robbie Kessler in third, and Kenny Mckinna, well, his poor meeting is continuing. He's at the back as Peter Carr, well, he's heading towards his third race victory of the meeting. Certainly has come on strong in the latter stages. He's out in front from Scott Smith, having a better ride in this one. It's been an up and down meeting for Scud. But Peter Carr, well, it looks like he is going to finish off with yet another win. The riders were a bit spread out in heat number 19, giving the Edinburgh fans something to cheer about. This minibus full of them has come down to support their team, and well, they're going to go out with a cheer or two as Carr wins heat number 19. Second place goes to the rider in yellow and black, that is Scott Smith. Third spot to Robbie Kessler. So 5 points to Sheffield, they finish on 26. 4 points to Edinburgh, they finish on 22, 61.69. That was Peter's winning time. Straight back to the pits for him. On to heat number 20 then, and the Premier League Best Pairs title can be won in this race. Long Eaton v Oxford, and the Invaders, well, they only need a first and a third, and well, they may not even need that, but that would be enough for them here this evening. They would not be able to be overtaken by Reading, who are a couple of points behind. This one, well, it sees Martin Dixon off gate number 1, off gate number 2, the very impressive Lawrence Hare. Off 3 it is Cole Stonehewer, and from the outside it is Neville Tatum, who has been the far least impressive rider out of this quartet. So heat number 20 then, first and third will be good enough for Long Eaton to win it outright in this one. Can they get it? Martin Dixon, and well, in fact, Martin Dixon has not got off the start. He's had engine failure, his chain has come off, and well, that means that Cole Stonehewer is out by himself against Lawrence Hare, who leads the way, and Neville Tatum back in third. Here comes Stoney. In fact, Stoney, well, he's looking for his teammate, and well, Lawrence Hare has managed to keep hold of first place. Stoney, well, I'm sure he'd have seen Dicko is on the centre green now. Neville Tatum back in third, and this has opened the door for the Reading racers. So what cruel luck this for Long Eaton if they should lose this meeting with an engine failure, as Lawrence Hare, well, he leads the way, but Stoney, well, he's trying to get an extra point in this one. Again, he's looking over both shoulders to see what's going on behind. I'm not sure he's quite convinced that Dicko is not on the track with him as they come round to start the final lap. And Lawrence Hare, well, he's heading towards his 5th straight victory, and well, it could have been a 6 ride maximum. He really has been the Very impressive rider here this evening. One of several though, as he wins heat number 20. Second place goes to Stonehewer. Neville Tatum will get a point in third, and 61.28 was the winning time. Lowell, that really has been a great individual performance by him, but what cruel luck for Martin Dixon and the Invaders. They finish on 33 points. It all comes down to this final race, Reading, where they need 5 points to tie. There'll be a run-off. 6 points would win it for them. Great reception for Lowell from the crowd. So the riders coming down to this final race then, and we're outfitting that it does come down to this final heat to see who will be crowned the 1997 Premier League Best Pairs champions. And well, it sees Glasgow against Reading. Glasgow, of course, represented by Neil Collins and Mick Pell. Reading, Dave Mullett and Leigh Richardson, who's been a revelation here this evening. The racers, well, they require a first and a third to give them the title. They're on 28 points. Long Eaton have finished with 33, so 5 points of second and third would be good enough for a run-off for the title. Glasgow, well, they've struggled a little bit here this evening. They've scored just 17 points so far. The bottom team, as it stands at the moment, will they be able to help Long Eaton out in the final race, or will the racers get it as the final heat is underway now? The crucial last race, and well, in fact it is Mick Pell who's come through to lead the way from Neil Collins in second place, with Dave Mullett and Leigh Richardson in third and fourth. So this, what a turn up this is, as Mick Pell leads it from Neil Collins in second spot. Leigh Richardson, well, he's coming through on the outside of Collins, trying to find a way past the Tigers rider, and he's managed to do so. If Dave Mullett can find a way past as well, that would be a run-off for the title, as Mick Pell, well, he's leading the way. The Long Eaton supporters, well, they're cheering on the Glasgow riders in this one, that's for sure. Leigh Richardson in second place. Neil Collins, well, he's still holding off Dave Mullett for that in that vital race for third spot, as Mullett, well, in fact, now he's trying to come round on the outside of Neil Collins. Terrific race to finish with in this final heat, and it's all going on that battle for third place, but Neil Collins, well, he's still holding off Dave Mullett at the moment. Mick Pell is going to get the victory. Second place is going to go to Leigh Richardson, and it's going to be Neil Collins who holds on the third spot, just ahead of Dave Mullett. And well, it is the Long Eaton Finner Invaders who win the meeting here this evening, as Mick Pell wins the final race for Glasgow, and we're thrilling into the meeting now. They score 6 points in this final race. The Reading racers score just 3, and well, let's take another look at some of that exciting action in the final race, as the Glasgow fans, well, they get a great reception from the Long Eaton fans, and not one or two Oxford supporters, I should imagine, as well. There's not a lot of love lost between the Reading and Oxford fans, and we can see once more this last race as Mick Pell, well, he shot out of the gate. He led the way. They're on the second lap now. Neil Collins, well, he's holding on to second spot, but watch here as Leigh Richardson, well, he eases his way through into second place. Really has been a very mature performance by the 17-year-old, and Neil Collins, well, he's holding on to third, but Dave Mullett, well, he knows that if he can get past Collins, there will be a run-off for the title, and here he does come through on the inside of Neil Collins, as you could see, but then Collins fights back again on the inside. He comes back past the Reading captain. Really was superb Speedway action in this final race. So for a fleeting moment it looked as if the racers were going to get a chance of that run-off, but it was not to be, as the Tigers score a 6-3 in the final race. And well, what a great reception this pair are getting, and well, I'm sure they will do as well on their return to the pits. And well, Cole Stonehewer just adding his commiserations there for young Leigh Richardson. Really has ridden so well. And well, Graham Jury, he's congratulating Neil, and also Mick Pell, who pulled it out at the death there for the Invaders. Certainly would have been very unlucky for them, of course. That mechanical problem, that mechanical failure for Martin Dixon in heat number 20. So it is Long Eaton who win this meeting here this evening by a couple of points, and was congratulations go all round. Let's take a look at all of tonight's point scorers. And we do start with Exeter Falcons. Leigh Lanham scored 7 points. Micheal Coles 21, the individual performance of the night. Points wise, 28 points for Exeter. They finish in 3rd place. Edinburgh, 7 points for Kenny Mckinna. He struggled. 15 for Peter Carr, who got going towards the end. 22 points for the Monarchs. For the Oxford Cheetahs, Neville Tatum just 6 points. He was bitterly disappointed with that. Lawrence Hare, after that first race problem, he then reeled off 5 straight victories, 20 points, 26 the total. Dave Mullett for Reading, just 12 points. Leigh Richardson, 19, the star of the show for the racers, 31 points. They finish a couple of points behind the Long Eaton pair of Cole Stonehewer, who scored 18 points, and Martin Dixon, who scored 15. And of course had that engine failure when the chain shed that chain in his last ride. The last heat heroes for Long Eaton fans: Glasgow, Neil Collins 10, Mick Pell 13, 23 points for the Tigers. And finally for the Sheffield Tigers, Robbie Kessler, he scored 18 points. Scott Smith, he struggled a little bit, 8 points, 26 their total. And so here comes the victory parade vehicle then, the presentation about to take place. And it really was a very close affair. There's only 3 teams in it really, Exeter, Long Eaton and Reading, where they all stake their claims in their early race wins. Maximum heat advantages, of course, from all 3 in their first 3, and then Reading, of course, well, they went and got another one in their second outing to take the lead. But eventually the Long Eaton Finner Invaders wore them down, and where they're coming round once more to be presented with a trophy now. Great reception they're getting, terrific atmosphere, and well, there are the trophies that are about to be presented by the chairman of the BSPA, Terry Russell. Dave Pavitt, of course, who's put on such a fine show on behalf of Oxford Speedway. Now the presentations.
Chairman of the BSPA, Terry Russell, he's about to present the trophies to this evening's rostrum place winners. So let's hear it first of all to the Exeter riders, Micheal Coles and Leigh Lanham, 3rd with 28 points. Great performance from both Micheal and Leigh here this evening. Micheal very well on 21 points, so well done. They're in 3rd position. We call on then the runners-up in the Premier League Best Pairs of 1997, just picked at the last race in Heat 21. But let's hear it for the Reading racers on 31 points, Dave Mullett and Leigh Richardson. And Dave just coming forward to pick up his runners-up trophy from Terry Russell. But there we go, just a photo call from the lenses of Mike Patrick, the Speedway star. But anyway, let's introduce then to you the winners, the 1997 Premier League Best Pairs champions. They did it. They thought it was going to be tough after Heat 20, but they're here. Let's welcome in first place, Martin Dixon and Carl Stonehewer. Great stuff. Tremendous performance. Martin must have been devastated after that engine problem in Heat 20, but it proved not to be a problem with Heat 21. And what a performance here this evening. They are the 97 champions, Long Eaton of the Premier League Best Pairs, Carl Stonehewer and Martin Dixon. And they add that trophy to the 14 tournament trophy which they won at Peterborough back in August for the Long Eaton Invaders. So, great performance and a great meeting here at Oxford. So, we'll move over to the truck. We're going to interview the riders on the truck for you so that you can hear their views. So
a great reception there for the Finney Invaders pair then, and I think Richard Palmer's now going to have a few words with all the riders on the parade vehicle.
Exeter, Leigh, Micheal, almost there but not quite. Happy with third place?
Yeah, quite happy, yeah.
Quite happy. Obviously a great performance early on. You were leading, but then just tailed off in the last 2 rides.
Yeah, the last 2 rides were the hardest, so, you know, we just stumbled and gone long Eaton, really.
But it's a great performance for Exeter, getting on the rostrum here this evening.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think anybody thought we were going to get there, but we come here, gave it a shot, and ended up 3rd.
Great performance. Glad to have you here. Well done. Reading, runners up, just missed it in that last one. What went wrong, Dave?
Well, a little bit confusion actually. I thought we needed a first and a second, and we didn't. For a run-off, we could have had a second and third. So, as I said, there was a little bit of confusion really, and well, we was beat by better men at the end of the day. I didn't go my usual self like I do around here, and well, there you are.
But you almost pulled it back, as say you lost it on that last couple of laps.
Yeah, that's right. As I said, I didn't really know, and like Neil had a good race, come back underneath me, and I thought, well, you know, I raced him hard again, but I think maybe, you know, it's just a bit of confusion, really. As I said, we could have had a run-off, I think.
That's it, but great performance from you, Leigh.
Yeah, not too bad. You know, I had John Davis here, and he was helping me with the starts. I lifted too much in off gate 4 twice, but no, apart from that, I'm quite happy. I'd just like to say thanks to John, and he's helped me out tremendously.
Well done, Reading, and say congratulations on your runners-up position. But I'm not sure what sort of interview we're going to get now.
Can I just ask all the Long Eaton fans in the crowd, will you please join the Glasgow Speedway Supporters Club tonight? Thank you.
Yes, I'm sure Long Eaton have picked up extra support from Glasgow. But well done, chaps. You've done great performance here this evening. Obviously, Dicko devastated with that engine problem in Heat 20.
Devastated to say the least, but you know, they come in and said we'd won it anyway, but that'll show them. They said I was the oldest man here. That showed them there's life in the old dog.
There certainly is. Great performance from you, and certainly Carl won 4 during the meeting, but a great performance throughout.
Yeah, it was an excellent meeting. Dicko's bad preparation there, but excellent race with the Reading lads and the Glasgow lads. I'm just grateful of the Glasgow lads for putting one over on Reading for us, and that's what clinched it really. Cheers, lads.
So not only the so you're certainly joining the Glasgow fan club as well then?
Yeah, I'm already in Neil's fan club, I think.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, great meeting here this evening. Well done, Long Eaton. Certainly deserved the trophy. 1997 Best Pairs champions. But let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for all the riders on the rostrum this evening. Great meeting, great performance, and great entertainment.
Well, indeed it was, and whereas the fans cheer the riders for the last time here this evening, we hope you've enjoyed it from the Oxford Stadium, the 1997 Premier League Best Pairs. Congratulations to the Long Eaton Finney Invaders then, as they continue on their lap of honour. It's goodbye from Rerun Videos.
Championship up at Bradford on the 11th of October, and also the final test match.